PJ Walker is the best quarterback in the XFL. He's phenomenal. He's got crazy good stats. He has like 7 touchdowns through 2 games. But stats are not the story. Stats are not the reason why I get so excited when I watch PJ Walker. Touchdowns are great. I would feel the same way if he had 2 touchdowns and they'd gone to the goal line every single time and maybe the running back had a bunch of touchdowns. The point is productivity. When you watch PJ Walker, there are so many little things he does that make him a great quarterback. The dude has a great arm. He's very accurate from the pocket. He's got ball location that's phenomenal along the sidelines in perfect spots where only his guys can catch the ball. He can throw a touch over top of linebackers. It's a tough ball to throw when you're throwing the ball at the intermediate level up and over a linebacker, but comes down quickly enough that a safety can't get there and make the play. He's got a really strong arm. He can dial the ball into tight windows downfield. Now, the thing, though, that makes him special, PJ Walker, I want to be very clear. PJ Walker is a mobile quarterback. He's not a running quarterback. We're going to talk about the thing that makes PJ Walker special, which is, in fact, his mobility. He needs his mobility to succeed, but he's not a running quarterback. He's a throwing quarterback who can run. He runs to throw, and that's a huge, gigantic difference, and I want you to pay attention to that difference. He's not just a guy who's a freak of nature athletically. He plays the quarterback position at such a high level with tremendous, tremendous feel. He's so great at moving around within the pocket and feeling defenders around him. A lot of guys are good athletes. Being fast does not necessarily mean you're good at navigating the pocket. PJ Walker it's like he has eyes on the back of his head. He does a great job at sliding and moving within the pocket. Now, another thing he does that's really special is he's very, I would call it slippery, where he's so good at avoiding a sack. It reminds me of Russell Wilson. A defender will have a free shot at him, meaning there's nobody. A defender will come free off the edge, no reason not to tackle PJ Walker, and he still makes a guy miss, whether it's a move left, a step up, a spin move, whatever you want. He's so good at making defenders who have a free shot at him miss. It's so crazy. But again, there are 2 types of things he's great at. Number 1, PJ Walker is phenomenal outside of the pocket. He moves, he extends plays, he keeps his eyes downfield, and he's looking to throw the ball. He gets out of the pocket, not to run, but to throw. He runs to throw. He does it so often, and it's extremely effective. He's also really good at knowing when to tuck. There are occasional moments where nobody's open, he tucks the ball and runs for 8 yards. That happens. But very rarely does PJ Walker run just to get yards. That's not the kind of quarterback he is. However, he is pretty quick. He's very good at escaping a sack. He also is very good at knowing when to throw the ball away. I've seen a couple moments where nobody's open, the defenders are closing in. He says, hey, I'm just going to throw the ball into the stands. That shows a lot of discipline. It makes me really excited. So he's great outside of the pocket. He's also great within the pocket. This is the coolest part of PJ Walker's ability at the quarterback position. PJ Walker doesn't just run the first time he has trouble and bodies around him. He's not skittish. He's not uncomfortable in the pocket. He runs if he needs to, but he's got tremendous feel for the game, and that's hard to teach. He slides up in the pocket. He steps up. He moves forward. He doesn't just run around and run away the first time there's a body around him. He'll step up. He'll slide around and keep his eyes downfield and stay within the pocket. It's incredibly rare to find a guy who can stay in the who has the ability to leave the pocket and run with speed, who doesn't always lean on that. PJ Walker's, it's almost uncoachable, his innate ability to navigate bodies around him without being impeded and without getting his eyes to come down from the downfield. He keeps his eyes downfield while bodies are around him and just slides around within the pocket. It's so impressive to me. So PJ Walker's mobility makes him a really, really special quarterback talent. One of the best movers within the pocket I've seen in a really long time. But he's not perfect. PJ Walker has had a couple throws in the first 2 weeks of the XFL season that should have been intercepted and were dropped. And a lot of people forget those plays. We talk all about how great PJ Walker is, this incredible touchdown, that incredible run, that incredible throw where he avoided a sack and threw the ball downfield. But there are plays that should have been picked off, and even a throw that should have been a pick six that the defense dropped. And if the defense had made those plays we would be talking about how great PJ Walker is, but we would also be talking about the interceptions. And that's really important because they don't go in the stat line, but they still matter. So yes, PJ Walker's phenomenal. I do think he also has some timing issues. There are a couple little things where he could be even faster. The NFL game is a lot faster than the XFL is. The XFL is faster than college. The NFL is even faster than the XFL. The game speeds up the higher the level you play at. But PJ Walker does great stuff, got a great arm. Just don't forget, he's not perfect. He's not exactly NFL ready right away. He's going to have to grow a little bit more if he ever wants to succeed at the NFL level. However, it is important. You have to ask the question, what's next for PJ Walker? Because he does show some stuff that could work at an NFL level. So we have to ask, what's next? Is he an NFL quarterback? There are a lot of possibilities here and places where PJ Walker could go as a quarterback. Number one, I think the XFL has an opportunity to build their league around PJ Walker. I think, man, it would be a big shame if PJ Walker left the XFL and went and sat on the sidelines of an NFL team as a backup next fall. It would be a shame. He's too good and too fun to watch to have him not play somewhere, whether it's in the XFL or in the NFL next year. Now, here's the reality. An NFL team could offer him more money to be a backup in the NFL. He could leave the XFL for more money and still not get on the field. And in that case, I would say, man, the XFL had better pony up. If I was the guy running the XFL, and I think the XFL has the self-awareness to make a move like this. If I was the XFL, I would outbid the NFL. It said, hey, PJ Walker, you're going to be a backup in the NFL. Let us pay you more. We'll pay you millions to keep you here and to make you the face of our league. We'll pay you more money. We want you here. We want you playing on weekends rather than sitting on the sideline in the NFL. Let's build around PJ Walker. That's what the XFL could do. Now, here's another scenario, though. The Carolina Panthers need a franchise quarterback. And Philip Walker is 24 years old. The Panthers head coach, Matt Rule, used to coach PJ Walker at Temple. Very interesting. They have a relationship. PJ Walker has a relationship with Matt Rule, the head coach in Carolina. And furthermore, the Carolina Panthers offensive coordinator is Joe Brady. Joe Brady helped Joe Burrow at LSU. Joe Brady helped Joe Burrow master LSU's offense. With Brady's help, Joe Burrow was phenomenal. He won the Heisman Trophy, had literally, I'm not kidding, the best college football season of all time. Now, Brady coached him up. Joe Burrow also worked his butt off. They both deserve credit. Joe Burrow worked really hard. Joe Brady helped coach him. They had a symbiotic relationship. Neither one deserves more credit than the other. They both made that happen. But Joe Brady, the point here is that Joe Brady could help PJ Walker the same way he helped Joe Burrow. Joe Brady could help PJ Walker improve his timing. He could help him master the Panthers offense and help him become an incredible decision maker. PJ Walker already makes very good decisions. He's very good. But he could take the next step and get even better by working with Joe Brady. Joe Brady's a great teacher. He's a great communicator. And I have no doubt he would work really well with PJ Walker. And PJ Walker doesn't even need to be perfect. He has the ability to extend a play. He can make up for his shortcomings as a decision maker early on. If early on in the NFL season next year, PJ Walker was not quite where he needed to be, he'd still be okay because he could get away with it by running around. The same way we saw Daniel Jones in his first game with the Giants or Kyler Murray in his first season in the NFL. Kyler Murray was not perfect, but he won the NFL Rookie of the Year and had a tremendous amount of success because of his mobility. His mobility made up for his other flaws, and PJ Walker could be the same way. I don't know, man. If PJ Walker stays in the XFL, that'd be great. I would love that. I want to watch PJ Walker play somewhere next year. What I don't want to have happen is to have PJ Walker sign with an NFL franchise for a lot of money and then not play. That sounds awful. I hope that the XFL steps up and says, hey, We recognize your value, PJ Walker. Here's millions of dollars. Here's a big contract. Be the face of our league. Because he's so much fun to watch. I don't want to watch him on the sideline. That'd be a pain. That'd be a shame. But the reality is that some NFL franchises, some NFL teams might view PJ Walker as a franchise quarterback. They might look at that guy in Houston and go, you know what? We can win with that cat. We can build around that guy. And if PJ Walker goes anywhere to be an NFL franchise quarterback, I cannot think of a better fit. It makes too much sense for him to go to the Carolina Panthers. Matt Rule, the head coach of Carolina, used to be PJ Walker's head coach at Temple. The offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, could help develop him. And the Panthers have the number 7 overall pick. What that means is that by the time they're able to draft, it is very likely that 3 quarterbacks will already be taken off the board. Tua is going to be gone. Joe Burrow is going to be gone. Justin Herbert will likely be gone to the Chargers. If the Panthers are able to sign PJ Walker, they would be able to save their first-round pick and draft a player who could help them get better as a football team. Save the pick, sign PJ Walker, make PJ Walker your franchise quarterback. Another thing they could do is draft down. They could use that number 7 overall pick. I'm sure somebody wants Jordan Love, the quarterback out of Utah State. They could draft down. They could get more picks. That's a possibility. The Panthers are rebuilding. They need more than just a quarterback. If they could use that number 7 overall pick to make their team better and get a quarterback, PJ Walker, who's not in the draft, that would be a huge, massive, massive deal in Carolina for the Panthers. It's a great way to build your franchise. Now, maybe the Panthers just want to draft Jordan Love. Maybe the Panthers say, hey, Tua, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, they're all gone. Jordan Love is left. He's a quarterback at Utah State. He's got tremendous upside. We'll take him. Maybe the Panthers' plan is we're going to play Cam Newton for this year, let Jordan Love sit behind him, and do that. That's a possibility too. Maybe the Carolina Panthers don't feel like they need PJ Walker. But I'm telling you, if PJ Walker goes anywhere to enter the NFL and be a franchise quarterback, there's not a better fit in the league than the Carolina Panthers for PJ Walker. That is what I want to see, man. I can't wait to see what happens. It's possible. The Panthers could view PJ Walker as their next future franchise quarterback. He's young. He's super mobile. He's not a running quarterback. He doesn't get hit a ton. He's not Cam Newton. PJ Walker's a different kind of quarterback. He runs to throw, doesn't just run for a bunch of yards. I'm telling you, man, I think I would take PJ Walker, who's 24 years old, mobile, healthy, plays well, the star of the XFL. I would take PJ Walker over Cam Newton, who's 30 years old, had injury problems. I'd take PJ Walker today over Cam Newton. And if PJ Walker ended up in Charlotte, North Carolina with the Panthers, I would not be shocked, even in the slightest.